Hey, what's up,
All right.
everybody? It's me.
Hey.
Hey, it's you too. What's up, Dreaded?
Yeah, it's me. It's us. This is Dreaded Challenger,
This is the Angry Challenger.
and we just thought we would just start up the old podcast machine and just want to. I just you know what? From my point of view, EVO 2015, the largest fighting game tournament ever in the history of ever, just happened. So I just thought, hey, why not? Why not have a podcast that just have a free flowing conversation about this?
Yeah, man.
Shout out, Brandon.
I didn't actually watch any of the Evo streams because I've been traveling overseas and whatnot. But I have watched a lot of the highlights for some of the finals, and I like what I see, man. I really wish I could have gotten more into it, but situation with the job and all that.
Yeah, man, life happens. Life happens. I mean, for me, I got to watch the pools. I got to watch some of the opening rounds with some of the bigger names in the Street Fighter community. I watched a little bit of also not just Street Fighter. I actually watched a little bit of Marvel, and I was confused. But I got to watch the live streams, and then I made sure to cut all distractions to watch some of the finals. So I got to see the finals, see how all that played out, and it was maddening. But what I wanted to talk about today with y'all is something that's on my mind. See, I've got lots of interests. I like music. I like playing music. I like playing music live. I like fitness. Into some anime here and there. Watch Baki.
Watch
Um,
Baki.
but I
Watch
and
Baki.
of course, fighting games. But you know what, man? I really love sports. I love football, both college and pro. I can't have one without the other. I'm really looking forward to football season coming.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, we're at the end of July. This is the dead season of sports.
Uh,
NBA Finals is over. We're in the doldrums of basketball, and all I'm getting is like crumbs of free agency football and like injury reports from my Texans. So there's no sports going on. And so it's a wonderful time to make sure to carve out a nice chunk of time to watch an Evo stream because I love sports and I also love fighting games. So I'm not, I'm just saying I got a lot of interest in sports as one of them. And I was just thinking to myself, man, I listen to a lot of sports radio. I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, which, I'm pretty stoked to be doing a podcast with you here, Angry.
yes, yes.
But I love sports. And you know what? I just want to say, of all the eSports, if that's what they're being called these days, fighting games just have to be just the most perfect kind genre of game to be an esport.
I agree with you,
And I
man.
like it. It's gotten to the point where I enjoy watching these streams or watching these events or hearing about it and following my favorite, esports athletes, just as much as I like following, guys on like the Texans or my favorite college team or my favorite pro teams, my favorite basketball teams. I'm finding it very compelling as a sport itself, and I wanted to get this out there to make the case that fighting games are just as compelling as any sport that I watch. And I know it's not for everybody. I know it's generational. Not everybody's into video games and fighting games in particular. But you're listening to our podcast. But if you like playing games, if you like playing Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, whatever, and you're not watching this like as a spectator sport, you really should. What do you think, Jarvis?
I agree with you, man. I'm not really that big into sports like you are, but I really like martial arts and fighting games, particularly King of Fighters 99 got me into martial arts, Taekwondo. Really like him, Cap One. Side note, whatever. But for me,
Word
I
justice.
enjoy the passion of the play, and since I have an understanding of the game, I like to see all the subtle little things going on with the spacing and the footsies and the zoning, all the fundamentals rolled up into one, all of the advanced play, stuff that you think you'd only see in combo videos, happening in a tournament, all that stress, people just performing at their top level under duress. To me, it's amazing, it's compelling, it's fun, it's exciting. Watching highlight reels, I love doing that.
Oh
Uh,
man,
I
yeah, how
really
that
enjoy
reels.
it. And the best thing about stuff like Evo is you have these great players that spend hours a day training, and it gives them a chance to go get sponsored, get paid a little money for what they do. and it gives the games exposure. Like we were talking about a few days ago, the whole Sports Center deal. So it's pretty cool. Now,
Yeah, man.
besides all that, I think a lot of people who aren't into video games or into sports might not understand everything going on that makes fighting games, video game sports so exciting. Because, like I've said so many times before, if you don't have that understanding, that basic level of understanding, you're not really going to get, what's going on. That's why a lot of people trash on League of Legends and stuff,
Yeah.
Counter-Strike, because even though I know those games are hard, I don't quite understand the metagame, the advanced tactics. So while I
Yeah.
do appreciate what's going on because, I am a PC gamer, most people don't. Fighting games, people grew up with Street Fighter 2. People can see the energy. It's a competition between two people. I can probably guess that more people, of your average person, have played Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, or some variation thereof than people who have played, say, League of Legends or some other competitive game like that.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're about the fighting games. I'm glad you brought up League of Legends. Because like you said, your average person, especially in the West, everybody has heard of, everybody's played some sort of fighting game. Mostly Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat are the big two in the United States. But here's the thing: you bring up League of Legends, and let me tell you, from what I hear, League of Legends is huge.
Yes.
But as a sport, I don't understand League of Legends. I watched a little bit of some highlights of a League of Legends competition, which was huge. Sold out an arena, and I'm like, that's really cool. And I hear like StarCraft is really huge in Korea and all that stuff. But here's the thing about fighting games: when you're watching a fighting game, there are two people, there are two health bars and a timer. There's a clear-cut winner, unless it's a draw, but in that case, it's a draw. So it's really competition in the purest sense. And that's why I think it makes for such a compelling esport. There's a lot of stuff going on with like this League of Legends and Counter-Strike that don't really lend themselves to clear-cut understanding. When you see that the dude in red just beat the heck out of the dude in blue and just stole all of his life bar like lunch money, you know who's dominant.
Yeah.
You know why they're dominant. You see you see the momentum. You see the punches. You see the fireballs. You know what I'm saying? You might not understand all the metagame. You might not understand the links. You might not understand all the tactics and the sweat and the perseverance that these. You might not know who the people are behind those guys. But when you're watching it, it's competition, and it's real and it's right there.
Yeah. Can I speak
just
to
like
that?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude.
Let me speak to that real quick because, man, we've hosted several Call of Duty tournaments, both together, alone, whatever, And I can tell you the hardest thing about competitive esport gaming and the difference between what you were saying with the red guy versus the blue guy and first-person shooters or Dota-type games like that, the problem is in a first-person shooter, in Dota, in League of Legends, you have many monitors all showing different things. So the announcers, the staff, they've got to flip to all these different screens to keep you in the action. Think about sports like baseball, football, the focus is on the ball and the player. Anybody watching can see that singular event. There's so much stuff going on in Counter-Strike. Like, you're trying to set up a bomb, you got people camping, you got people on offense, you got people on defense. There's so much stuff going on, but you can only see it through one screen at a time. And you can split those screens up, but it's really hard to take all that in if you don't have a basic understanding of the game. For a fighting game, you have all of your action, well, most fighting games, you have all of your action on one screen. Smash Brothers, PlayStation All-Stars, going all the way back to Power Stone. Those games have like 4 people, or in the case of the newest Smash Brothers, up to 8 people, all on one screen. When you can consolidate all the action in the game to one screen so that your audience, whether they're well-versed in the history of the game, the background, how to play or whatever, or not, at the very least, they can see everything going on so that afterwards, when you recap, you can kind of explain to them rather than saying, okay, well, while this guy was doing this, yeah, he was getting some mad headshots. Yeah, you know, he wiped the entire team. But while he was doing that, some other guy over here off screen was doing this. That doesn't translate well to your average person.
Absolutely, man. Man, it's one-on-one. You know, fighting is like the most basic sport there really can be in it, and it really lends itself. And just like, you know, I love football, but I'm going to tell you, you know, I couldn't really tell you all the ins and outs, all of the different defenses, and all of the cover three, and the difference between a nickel and a dime, and like, oh, they're in a pistol, or you know, I know some of that, not all of it, you know. And I've been watching football almost all my life, and it might be the same thing with fighting games. You might not understand all of it, but you can understand enough. And with good announcers that have knowledge of the game, and you're watching it and they're explaining to you, oh, that was a setup right there. If he presses any buttons, he's going to get beat because he put them in the situation. Your eyes start to get open and you start getting really honed in. It's really an awesome thing to watch. And ever since I started watching these competitive screen, it's really sucked me in as a sport into itself. The other stuff, I'm not knocking it. I'm just not into it. It's really hard to get into. And I think for anyone who's watching who's not into it, I think you're missing out on a lot of fun. And also, if you want to get good at these games, if you want to get good at Tekken or Street Fighter, yeah, watch EVO. Watch how the pros do it. You know what I'm saying? And for sports fans, if you're listening out there, I'm going to break it down like this. If I could compare fighting game, professional fighting game play to any sport, it would probably not be boxing, not be mixed martial arts. It's probably more like tennis. And the reason I say that is because although it is like, you know, quote unquote contact, you know, you're punching each other in the face. With boxing, the organization's different. You can only have like a boxing match 2 or 3 times a year at the most, you know, for if you're young and in shape and haven't been punched in the face too much. So the structure's different. There's one champion and everybody contends until you fight that one champion. When you fight that one champion, you walk away with a belt. And not so much with Street Fighter. It's more like tennis, because tennis is one-on-one. It's played in a number of matches, in a number of sets, and you have tournaments like the British Open, or that British Open is golf, like Wimbledon, or, you know, the Australia Open. These big competitions, these big individuals, you know, you have like Andy Roddick or Serena Williams. They show up and they put on their best performance, and all of this attracts professionally per season. And nowadays, at least with what Capcom is doing, and this is just for right now for Street Fighter 4, but soon to be Street Fighter 5. And I hope we get to see this. There's something called the Capcom Pro Tour, where any professional gamer who goes into these specific Capcom Pro Tour tournaments, they get points based on their performances in these tournaments. And, you know, let's say you place top 8 at EVO, you're going to get a number of points. And then if you win one of these major tournaments, you get an automatic berth. And then the top, I want to say 32, they changed it. They opened it up. The top 32 players in the world come together to play a large tournament called the Capcom Pro Tour. And then at the end, it's like, okay, here's all these tournaments worldwide. And all these people show up and play these tournaments. And then at the end, if you qualify for them, you can go to the big one. And last year, a gentleman named Momochi took it, and right now he's on a roll. He's probably the best. Not the most well-known, that would be Daigo, but probably the top Street Fighter player in the world right now. He won it last year, and it looks like he's the favorite to win it this year. It's all very fun to follow, and it's all very much like tennis. It's head-to-head, but it's repetitive. You travel around the world, you play in all these different tournaments, you get these different scenes. So, you know, playing in Japan is not quite like playing in the States, not like playing in Europe, not like playing in Singapore, but the game's the same. The game travels with you, and it's very exciting to watch it all play out. So I'm not saying that I'm a huge tennis fan, but the flow of the season is with it, because it doesn't have a season like basketball season or football season. It's all year round. There's tournaments all over the world. You get to and it's cool because in order to follow your favorite tennis player, you just like, hey, what tournaments are my favorite tennis players going to. I've got my favorite Street Fighter players and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom players, and I follow them. Just my personal favorite. I'm not saying he's the best, but my boy Eduardo,
Yes.
Eduardo Perez, my boy EGPR Balrog.
Yes.
Right now he's got 98 points, and he's in 17th place in the Capcom Pro Tour chase. He hasn't won yet, so he hasn't qualified, but he's in the running. But that's what it's like him, Justin Wong, Daigo. I like to follow these guys. Their personalities, and they're the closest things you have to sports stars in the fighting game community. It's all very, very fun, and I love the way it's evolving.
Yeah, man. I really like your insight on that, and it is really cool that we can follow the players we like. Maybe I want to go and I want to watch Kazunoko. I can go find a stream with him, and I can figure out, I can jump on his Twitter, and I can see, hey, where's Kaz going? Where's Ricki going? Where's Justin Wong going? Combo Fiend. He was a player. He was playing a lot of tournaments and whatnot, and Marvel 3. Now he works for Capcom.
He's a big dog programming.
Yeah, man. He's in there getting it, and it's really cool that the industry is so close to the player base. And that's really important. Now, I'm not saying that other video game sports out there aren't as close to their player base, and I'm definitely not saying that there aren't superstars in other gaming realms, because I went to London for London Comic-Con, and I ran into a top Dota player, and that man had a crowd of people around him wanting to shake his hand, wanting to take pictures with him. I took a picture with him. I don't remember the guy's name. I'm sorry, guy, if you're listening and you remember that one instance in front of the video game bar. But I will say that, yeah, these people are celebrities in their own way. But it's really cool Ivan brings up following your players, because it is a lot like professional sports. You want to follow, back in the day when I was a kid, I like Chicago Bulls. I like Jordan. I like Scottie Pippen. I like my boy Tony Kukoc. Don't joke on me. Tony Kukoc is my boy, okay? Everybody laughs at me. Tony Kukoc, he was there.
He put in some work on the championship teams.
He put in some work, all right?
He was guarding the fourth best player on their team.
Yeah,
he was
man.
Rebounding. Yeah, man.
Anyway, it's really cool that now we have this Pro Tour where PR Balrog plays a set amount of tournaments. He plays online. He gets points. He qualifies. It's exciting. It just revs it up. And next thing you know, we're at Capcom Cup. Who's going to win? Infiltration tour.
Yo, those Capcom Cup matches are ridiculous.
Yeah, man. You've got the best in the world competing. And seeing Infiltration win Cross Tekken and Street Fighter 4 that one year. Oh, when he beat Daigo, I'm like, man, what is going on right now?
Yeah, I like Infiltration. I like Infiltration a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, and here's the thing. You know what the most beautiful thing is? Anytime you want to watch some amazing high-level quality, this stuff is all on YouTube. You can type in EVO 2014 Top 8, and there's there you can watch. If you type in EVO 2015, you can watch the losers bracket where, PR Balrog eliminated Kazunoko in a thrilling fashion and then gets wasted by Nemo, who I forget who it was, but the Rolento. Or you can watch the grand finals. What was that one with Momochi? I think it was Momochi and Daigo, where Daigo hit that 25-hit combo. Oh my goodness, that was Southeast Asia. That was the Southeast Asia. It's SEAM, SEAM, Southeast Asia majors, Southeast Asia majors, and the grand finals was the Michael Jordan of the fighting game community, Daigo Umehara, the Beast, works on Team Mad Catz, which I'll get to the teams in a second, versus Momochi, and it was just Evil Ryu versus Ken, and it was so tight and so ferocious and so ridiculous. And if you love these games and you want to get better, you got to watch the best. You got to learn from the best. I love that it's all on YouTube.
Yeah, man, it's really great, because I'm not gonna say this is a problem with professional sports, because they're an IP. But if you were to upload that stuff to YouTube and it gets too popular, it's going to get removed. But the video
Yeah,
game
because they're trying to protect it.
the video game industry, unless you're Nintendo like 3 years ago, they want their games out there. They want people to see this excitement. They want to grow their audience. Now, I'm sure Dreaded and I can go over how commentators could be better, how tutorial modes could be better, how the most basic aspects of the game, like the focus on dexterity versus strategy, could be improved to get more people. But just the fact that you can jump on social media and repost a YouTube video and get 2 million views and not have to worry about Capcom saying, take that down, please, that's fantastic. I can show anybody the EVO number 37 moment anywhere.
Yeah.
You can just type in EVO Moment 37, pull it up, and send it to somebody. And I show them, look at this parry real quick.
Yeah, that's the immaculate reception of the fighting game community. That is that one play. I think that's probably the most famous play in all of football. EVO Moment number 37 is the most famous moment of all of fighting games. Not saying that there's not other amazing moments out there, but that one is definitely. If you ask any person who follows professional fighting games and you ask them what's the moment, that's that.
I think that's like the linchpin right there. That's what really opens up how amazing fighting games could be to the general public.
Yeah. And even if you've never watched two people ever play Street Fighter before, listen to the crowd. That's another thing. You go to a football game. Okay, I went to Texas A&M University. Take your shots if you will. Post hate in the comments. I don't care. Get your Maggies. But when that many people are screaming that loud at a football game, there's nothing like it. And that was there. That's there every time at EVO. That's there every time. Something amazing happens. That was there at that moment 37. That whole room is going bananas, just so crazy. There's rivalries. The USA Japan rivalry is real. We're getting crushed, but still, it's real. So I'm just saying, there's real passion and real energy. The same energy that I see when I go to an Aggies game, more so than when I go to a Texans game. But that's pro. Is there at these tournaments. And it's so much fun to watch, even though I can only stream it. One of these days I'd like to go to a live event so I can actually take it in, and then I can tell you with more experience. It's just, getting to these tournaments. I live in Houston. I know there's some in Houston. I haven't been able to get to one. One of these days, it's on my bucket list. I'd like to attend an EVO. Hopefully within the next 5 years.
Yeah, Ushikan was definitely not enough for us.
No. You won Ushikan.
I did.
You took that home.
I'm really sad that what happened. But anyway, we can talk about the difference between competing in a tournament and just playing by yourself or online or with another person later. But could you go into what you were saying about teams?
Oh yeah, this is a really cool thing. The closest thing I know about this is in mixed martial arts, where people belong to gyms but they fight individual. So what you're going to see in these in the Street Fighter community, it's not just Daigo Umehara, it's MCZ Daigo Umehara. You might wonder, what the heck is that line? What does that all mean? There's teams. Basically, what that is like a sponsorship, and these people who go out there and play this video game, they're getting sponsorships. They're joining teams, and what they're doing is they're actually getting a stipend. It's endorsement money to play these games. You got the big one, the Nike of the fighting game community. Like Nike is to basketball, Mad Catz is to fighting games. Mad Catz makes the fight sticks. Yeah. This isn't a plug for Mad Catz. It's just the truth. You also have Razer. You have all these different companies that make the peripherals.
Yep.
Mad Catz is one of the big guys. Mad Catz signed Daigo. Mad Catz signed Mago, Takedo, all these different high level players. If you ever see them and they're playing and they got 4 red slashes across their chest, they're signed by Mad Catz. It's kind of a big thing. There's other teams that come together. They're like media teams, or just they come together. And it's a pool of sponsorships. One specifically, Evil Genius. Mm-hmm. Now, Evil Genius signs a lot of top American players, but they have also signed Momochi. Right now, the top player in the world. So Team Evil Genius has like Momochi, Justin Wong, K. Brad. Choco Blanca is Indeed, Evil Genius, because
Okay.
Choco Blanca and Momochi are married. Yeah,
Okay.
it's EG Choco Blanca, one of the only female fighting game things. But it's just cool. You don't have to have a women's division in fighting games. They need to
Yeah.
expand that. Well, there's other like media groups like AVM, GamerBees, AVM. So these people come together, they pool money to get endorsements, and that helps them do their travel. And they buy their sticks, and then they get some money on the side. Teams like Liquid or Janba, or Kanba or whatever. There's another fighting stick that
Yeah, Adar sells
Razer.
those.
So there's all kind of different Kappa, Ori, Focus Attack, which is a website that sells fighting game
Yes.
peripheral
Gotta love.
accessories. Ryan Hart out of UK is signed on. Smug just got signed on.
Whew.
I think, yeah, Smug got signed by Pi. But anyway, it's like these cool teams, and they train together. So a lot of times you'll see like PL Balrog will be fighting some Mad Catz guy, and you'll see Justin Wong and K-Brad are out there coaching them. It's like a team. Sometimes they fight up. Sometimes they have to fight each other because it's an individual sport. But it's really cool to see this camaraderie brewing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a nice interesting wrinkle. And like I said, that's not in professional sports other than in mixed martial arts, where you have these teams like American or American Kickboxing Academy, or Jackson MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or whatever. It's just really cool to see and follow.
Yeah, man. I think that the teams are great because it gives people who wouldn't be able to travel. Somebody can be really awesome, like I don't know, you have a really good player on the West Coast, a really great player, and he just shines, but he can't really travel. There's a
Yeah,
chance
so
that
he'll win NorCal finals like all the time, but he can't get to New Jersey.
Yeah, there's a chance that, maybe a company will pick him up and they'll pay for his travel and his hotel and they'll give him a stick. And yeah, he might have to pay for food and all that out of pocket, but now he can travel, he can compete. It makes them want to play more. The more stress you take off the player to get where they need to go so they can actually work and have another job, because unfortunately there's not a lot of money in fighting game esports as compared to like League of Legends, where there's millions of dollars and they're filling up arenas. So sponsorships like Mad Catz, Evil Geniuses, Pi, all those are great because it gives players a chance to meet each other, because fighting games are an international sport. I'm really happy that I can see that on YouTube and I can watch streams of EVO, and one day maybe there'll be a new challengers team. I mean, there's a hitbox.
Oh man, can you just picture that? NC Angry Challenger.
Oh man,
We
that'd be
will sponsor you,
fantastic.
man. We will send you overseas,
I
man.
will go somewhere and I will lose so bad, but I will do it.
Well, one day we can dream.
I will do it as charismatically as possible.
Oh man, you will be so hyped.
I will.
Listen, I gotta say this. There's never been a better time to jump on this sport right now than right now. You got your superstars. You got your history. You got your moments. You have amazing tournaments happening around the world. The only thing we're missing is having this stuff up on Fox Sports or ESPN. But mark my words, there's going to be an ESPN or something mainstream. I know that G4 TV almost had it, got canceled,
Yeah.
whatever. You just wait. You just wait. One of these days, you will be seeing highlights from Capcom Pro Tour or EVO 2020 on sports feed talking about Peyton Manning's third retirement. It's going to happen. Or the latest Kobe Bryant rant, where he's getting paid $50 million to do nothing. It's going to be up there. Like get on it now. Start typing in these. Just get on Google, type in EVO space 2015, and you can see all kind of games. And now we've been focusing on the Capcom side because they got the Capcom Pro Tour. But tell them about the games. Tell them about the games that were at EVO. Tell them about all the different games that are being played on a competitive level.
I'm talking about pretty much anything you can imagine, man. Everything from
Just about everything.
Where's Marvel, as they like to say, Street Fighter 4, you got the Capcom side, you got Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is on the main stage of EVO. You got Mortal Kombat X. That's up there too. And another great thing about now, particularly when I was coming up, there was a time where fighting games were dead, and people were telling me that 2D was out, 3D was in, Tekken was going to run the streets, Virtua Fighter was going to run the streets, and I was telling people, I don't think that's going to happen. Those games are too hard for your normal person. Next thing you know, Street Fighter 4 comes out, turns everything on its head. Mortal Kombat 9 comes out. All of a sudden, it's not just Street Fighter. People are getting their Mortal Kombat fix now. And we've got Killer Instinct out. We've got Mortal Kombat X. We got Street Fighter 5 about to drop.
All those Atlas games.
And we've got all these games that have appeared on EVO. Not just this year. We had KOF 13 up there. King of Fighters. My love. We've got obscure games. Like just this year, I got an email as a backer for Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu had a Mad Catz booth. They had 96 people in their tournament at Evolution.
Okay, that's crazy.
And
that is nuts.
That is a Kickstarted or Indiegogo. That is an Indiegogo campaign game made by some devs from the SNK side. And they went to EVO, they got a booth, and they made it happen. 96 people isn't a lot of people for EVO because EVO is huge, but the fact that they were able to throw something together is fantastic. Last year, Chaos Code had a tournament. The character that was voted the lowest tier, Bravo, got second place at the side tournament. There's side tournaments for games like Skullgirls and stuff like that going on. And you've got major games up there, talking Blaze Blue, talking Guilty Gear, really awesome
Smash Brothers of all things?
Smash Brothers. People said that Melee was dead. People had to lug around their CRT televisions, you know. And now we've got a new Smash Brothers out. Melee is still alive. Brawl is doing something. And then the new Smash Brothers is out there as well. We see communities.
I know.
Like Street Fighter, Marvel, Mortal Kombat, they haven't had to fight as hard as games like Smash. But when you see games like Smash raising money for breast cancer awareness, when you see all these players lugging in their TVs, their own controllers, making it happen, when you see these side tournaments pulling 96 people just to come and play for fun, that's what makes EVO great. It's international. You can pull anybody in, practically anybody. You don't need to be in the best condition to pick up a controller, a stick, a hitbox, a pad, anything to go and play one-on-one versus someone else. You don't need to be some 7-foot-tall monster. You just need to have a passion to want to play. And that's why I love fighting games. I can play with anybody. Yeah. I can teach anybody. And it's fantastic.
Absolutely. And all these people that we're talking about, all these superstars, like, it's not at the point right now where someone's going to get signed for $7 million to play or be like Tiger Woods and play 32 and still make $500,000. These guys that are your superstars at this point, at this juncture, yeah, there's big money at EVO. Don't get me wrong. Someone probably made $100,000 after expenses. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. There's real money on the line here, but these people are just like you and me. Daigo Umehara has a job.
He has a family.
Pierre Balrog, he has, I think he's a programmer or something. They have families. They actually have bills to pay and everything. So right now, there's a barrier for you to get to the NBA. There's definitely a barrier for you to get into the NFL. I love football. I love basketball. But I'm 5'6". I would get destroyed unless I'm a punter. And I would still get destroyed. But listen, if I put in the work, don't get me wrong. I'm probably not ever going to, make top 8 at EVO ever. But the thing is, it could be you. I'm talking about professional, this stuff right here. But it could be you. There's a gentleman, and I don't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is. I was checking in on the stream. I was looking at EVO. I was keeping up with the stats. Next thing I know, there's this guy named AI from Japan.
Yes.
In top 8. Top 8 at EVO. I had never heard of this dude before. There's absolutely no information of him on the Capcom Pro Tour site. They don't know. This guy came out of nowhere and placed top 8. I'm just saying, it can't just be any of us, but it could be you. These are everyday people just becoming amazing because of their passion.
Yeah, it's not just – I hear this a lot from new players. They're all like, oh, man, My little cousin could beat you in Street Fighter. It's not little kids. These are people that are older
Yeah.
than me. I'm 29 years old. There's dudes out there who are in their 30s, their mid-30s, that are just getting it. How old is Alex Valle? That dude's been
I
around for
don't
a
know.
while, man. And
Yeah, it's that generation. It's that generation that was around when Street Fighter 2 took it.
yeah,
Went into stride, and
Alex
then the
Valle's
fighting game.
37. He's
So
37.
yeah. I mean, I remember how old I was when I first started playing Street Fighter. I was in freaking grade school.
Yeah.
So it's that generation that's coming up. So the next wave is going to come up, and it's going to replace the old school. Daigo's going to have to retire, and one day, and some young guy is going to replace him. It's just get on now, guys. Start watching now. I'm going to see if I can drum up some of my favorite clips so I can post it under the comments of this bad boy when it gets posted. I'm getting so hyped up just talking about it, man. I'm so glad we did this pod.
Yeah, man, it was really great today. And I just want to close it out by saying, if you like getting hype, watching people beat each other up, you need to watch Baki. Just watch Baki. Baki the Grappler.
Baki the Grappler.
Read it, watch it. I don't care. Everything relates to Baki. Everything.
It's a classic anime. It's a classic manga. It's about fighting. It's really hype.
It's complete.
Baki's the dude.
You don't need to worry about
it is.
keeping up with it. It's completed. I mean, it's not completed in a
It's done.
place that
It's
makes me
out there.
happy. I mean, I'm very upset of when
No,
it's completed, but
Yeah, cliffhangers. But I mean, if you watch the anime, it's pretty amazing. It's fun. It's old school, and it's awesome. And everything in life relates to Baki. Everything important in life relates to Baki.
everything important. All the minor things, like taxes,
When I'm at
love, and all
when
that
I'm
stuff.
at work, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to get this promotion, man. You know what I start thinking in my head? The theme song from Baki comes up. I get really pumped up. I flex my back muscles, and I go out there and I get on that paperwork, man. I get on those TPS reports.
Heck yeah, man. When I feel like I don't need to go to the gym, I just imagine I get those endorphins, and and I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. So much better. You'll watch Baki.
Watch it. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us today and every day. If you like what you see here, once again, check us out on YouTube and the Facebook. I am on Twitter. This is our podcast on SoundCloud. And until the next challenge, are we doing that?
Till the next challenge.